All right, everyone, good morning. Happy Thursday. As you saw in the caption there, we are less than 24 hours away from that extreme cold making it here into North Georgia. If you haven't been able to follow with us throughout the week, we have issued a first alert weather day because of the cold. Not only is it going to be cold, we're talking dangerous cold. And in this video, we're going to talk about the potential for frostbite or hypothermia, how to keep you and your family safe and your home safe. And of course, we're going to talk about the numbers, just how cold is it going to be. A lot of people have been asking about the potential for ice and snow, so we're going to talk about that as well. Clearly, lots to cover with this big weather event headed our way, so we are going to get right to it. As always, let me know where you are watching from. Would love to know where everyone's tuning in from, and if you have any questions, feel free to write them in any of the comments. For those of you who are watching on things like Facebook, we'd love to answer any questions that you have. So let's get started on it, shall we? In the meantime, it is going to be a dreary day, so in anticipation of this event, clouds have built in. It's a little bit misty out there. We've had some patchy fog throughout the morning, nothing necessarily dense, but definitely a gloomy day. Today will be the last mild day for a couple of days, and I say mild, we'll be near average. It'll be generally in the upper 40s and low 50s through the day today. Right now it's still pretty cold, 39 in Marietta, 40 in Lawrenceville and in Athens, and 41 in Atlanta. We're just going to briefly cover today because of course tomorrow is really the big story. So today we do have a 50-degree temperature for your high, 20% chance of rain, reading too many things on this graphic. And then of course we do have the rain that will roll in late tonight along the weather system that is well out to our northwest up in the Great Lakes region, bringing very heavy snowfall to parts of Illinois and Michigan, also moving into Arkansas. So very, very cold air clearly behind that front. There is another weather system that's just off the coast there that's bringing rain to parts of the Carolinas, and that's kind of essentially just helping trap in some moisture in the southeast, helping us with that cloud cover for the day today. Now let's talk about what is to come, because that weather system that's to our northwest, bringing the snow and blizzard-like conditions to parts of the Midwest, that is on the way here. Of course, it's not going to bring us blizzard-like conditions, but it is going to bring us dangerous and widespread cold, a hard freeze expected through the weekend, and very dangerous wind chills. So a wind chill warning that is indicated by the pink there, that is up for far north Georgia and the North Georgia mountains. Feels like temperatures as low as -20 degrees possible. Yeah, very, very dangerously cold. Any skin exposed could turn into frostbite if you stay outside for about 25 to 30 minutes in temperatures that cold. Again, this isn't going to be the surface temperature. This will be the wind chill. So wind gusts tomorrow, upwards of 40 miles per hour, which is technically tropical storm force wind gusts. Wind chill advisory indicated by that light blue color there. That is for most of the metro. Feels like temperatures as cold as -5. I do think some of us could potentially have those feels like or wind chill values a little lower than that, even upwards of -7, -10. But by and large, a lot of us will be in that 0 to -5 range when it comes to the wind chill. Still very, very cold. Hello from Gary, Indiana. How you doing up there in Gary, Indiana? You guys are supposed to get some very, very cold temperatures. So as we go through the day tomorrow, that cold front will sweep through the overnight into early tomorrow morning. So everything will be out by sunrise. Temperatures plummet. By noon, temperatures tomorrow are only in the single digits and teens. These are the actual temperatures. It's going to be very windy, and that's going to lead to those dangerous feels like temperatures or wind chill values. So here's a look at your wind chill. We do have that first alert weather day for tomorrow. So not just a first alert, that's usually when we tell you about a change in a weather pattern that will be noticeable. A first alert weather day is when it will impact you in some way that's potentially dangerous. So usually we reserve these for this dangerous cold or some sort of very potent storm system. So tomorrow is just a heightened threat for dangerous weather that is going to move into the area, and that dangerous weather is in the form of very, very cold temperatures that we are just not used to here in North Georgia. We haven't seen temperatures like this in years. The last time we were at around 11 degrees in the morning, which is going to be the temperature on Christmas morning Saturday, was 2015 in January. So here's a look. 4 a.m. it feels like 15. It's going to feel like -1, -2 by 8 o'clock in the morning. So dangerously cold throughout the entire day tomorrow. If you don't need to be out on the roads tomorrow, we suggest that you don't, especially in the morning until we can get a handle on any kind of black ice. We are going to cover that potential for any kind of black ice here in just a couple of minutes. That's not looking widespread, but it is still possible. So we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Either way, notice throughout the entire day, 4 o'clock is normally when we hit our high temperature. It's going to feel like 5 degrees. So single digits to negative numbers all day tomorrow. Let's take you through it hour by hour here. So here's a look at far north Georgia. The numbers I just gave you were for Atlanta. Blairsville, you could feel like negative 21 degrees by 8 a.m. tomorrow. So there's that wind chill warning. Again, for feels like temperatures negative 20, but we could see some that are even colder than that, especially up in the higher elevations. The higher up in the atmosphere you go, the colder it naturally gets. So yeah, the wind up there, the wind also picks up in the higher levels. So it could feel even colder than negative 20 up in the higher elevations of the mountains. And so as we go through the afternoon, feeling like the single digits, feeling like the negative teens in the far northern counties. As we head into Saturday morning, this is going to be the coldest part of our cold blast of air, essentially. The wind is still going to stay very strong, and we are all going to be in the negatives as we head into Saturday morning. Now, again, this isn't the surface temperature. This is what it feels like, but this is what's important because it can be 5 degrees at the surface, but if it feels like negative 16, that's what you're going to notice. So this is what's super important. Again, this is dangerous cold. You need to cover up your skin. Really, we've been telling our reporters kind of just keep your eyes showing because it is going to just be really cold. Your skin can't handle this kind of cold. It could lead to frostbite. As we head into Saturday afternoon, we finally get back into the double-digit numbers when it comes to the feels like temperatures, with the exception of the far north counties. So our far north Georgia mountain friends, you will still feel like the single digits throughout most of the day on Saturday. Yes, these are the feels like temperatures. So we're showing you these because this is what you are going to notice most. This is the really, really dangerous aspect. Of course, temperatures are going to be in the 20s on Saturday at the surface, but what you'll feel is this as we go through the day, and that's ultimately what's going to impact you. So frostbite times, how long it takes to get frostbite in wind chills that we are going to experience. 0 to 10 degrees, wind chills of 0 to 10 degrees, which will be widespread. We're going to go even below that, 30 minutes. So here's kind of our range. -5 to -15 are going to be the wind chills for most of North Georgia. 30 minutes still for any kind of frostbite to occur. So you don't want to spend extended periods of time outdoors, especially if you're not prepared winter weather clothes-wise. It's time to pull out your heaviest winter jackets. You want the gloves, you want your ears covered, you want your head covered, you want thick socks. All of those things are good. We've been saying that maybe some sort of middle layer that's more of a fleece or some sort of wool material, something that's just going to keep you nice and insulated and warm. You'll want layers tomorrow. And then wind chills -20 to -30, which we could have wind chills -20 colder up in the far northeast Georgia mountains, 20 to 25 minutes for frostbite. So that's not a long period of time. You're not walking the dog tomorrow, going to the grocery store, not a good idea. Governor Brian Kemp actually declared a state of emergency for Georgia yesterday because of this winter weather that we are going to experience, this winter-like weather for a lot of us. And so you don't want to be running errands. Today is the day to prep your house, get everything you need for Christmas. If you're having Christmas dinner at your house, you want to go get those groceries today. If you had the plan to do that on Friday, tomorrow, you want to rearrange that. I know the grocery stores are a madhouse. I was out at Target yesterday trying to get a few last things, and it was crazy packed, but it's better than having to risk going out in this kind of cold. It's just not going to be fun. And the roadways are going to be dangerous as well. Wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. That's really not safe to drive in, especially as those higher profile vehicles are out there trying to deliver your last minute gifts, right? You just want to avoid all of that. Let's see. Yes, we'll talk about snowfall potential as well. So here's a look at the rain potential. And why is this important? Well, if any kind of water lingers on the roads with how quickly the temperatures are going to drop, that could turn to some black ice, especially on bridges and overpasses. So far north Georgia, where that wind chill warning is, you guys are by and large going to get the greatest impacts from the system. Not only will you have the coldest wind chills, you'll have the potential for maybe a little light blanket of snow, especially in the higher elevations above 2,000 feet in the mountains, but you also will have the higher potential for black ice. If there's enough moisture to turn into wintry precipitation, we're talking maybe a wintry mix or some snow, you have enough moisture to stay on the roads and create some sort of thin black ice, especially on those higher bridges and overpasses. So we're advising you, especially if you live north of the metro, to just not drive on Friday morning until we can get a handle on what the roads look like. Of course, GDOT is feverishly going out to salt the roads, but still going to just be pretty dicey out there. So this isn't necessarily measurable rainfall for the most part. So for most of us, black ice is not going to be an issue. But again, we're kind of isolating far north Georgia for any kind of light snow, flash freeze, and ice on bridges and overpasses for mainly our far northern counties. So we're talking if you live in Helen, if you live in Ellijay, places like Rabun County, Towns County, Fannin County, all the way out to Rome and towards Chattooga County. That's where we're mostly concerned about any kind of road impacts when it comes to this system. Now for Metro Atlanta, a few flurries in far north metro. So we're talking places like Cherokee County, maybe a patchy flash freeze. I will say just the light rain from the overnight. We really didn't pick up much measurable rainfall, which is what's forecast, not much measurable rainfall, but there was still a little bit of water on the roadways when I was driving in very early this morning, even though the rain had been over for about an hour. Well, if that happens tomorrow, where we get some of those spotty showers to move in through the overnight and the temperatures drop upwards of 30 degrees, guys, in just about 6 hours, it's going to be a quick drop of temperatures that could lead to some sort of flash freeze. So we're going to be monitoring the roadways for you tomorrow. And again, GDOT is out there kind of salting the interstates. Most roads are going to be dry tomorrow. So again, black ice, not a huge issue for the metro, but we are going to watch for any kind of lingering water on the road from those showers overnight with those temperatures plummeting throughout the morning. So you just want to be very careful. We're advising you just to stay off the roads Friday if you don't have to drive on Friday morning. And if you do, just take it really easy. You can't see black ice, right? It's really, really dangerous. Friday evening and night. So Friday night, tomorrow night, it's going to get very cold. It will feel like the negative numbers. We're talking upwards of -10 in the metro. So really, really cold if you're heading out Friday night. Really windy. The black ice situation probably going to be pretty slim to none, with the exception again of far north Georgia and bridges and overpasses. But Friday night it's just going to be miserably cold, bitterly cold. If you're doing anything Friday night, I know I personally have plans Friday night. It's going to be running into the car, heating up the car early. That's a tip. Heat the car up early, get into the car and get where you need to go, because again, any kind of extended period of time outside is just not going to be a good situation, especially if you have any exposed skin. So unless you have a full ski mask on, you're going to want to kind of limit your time outside to just getting into the car and getting into your destination. Be safe and have a Merry Christmas from Louisiana. Oh, we have people from Louisiana watching. Good morning. But Danny, good question. And again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Now let's talk about kind of the fun part. Of course, we're going to get cold, but we're not going to get any of the snow really that people have been telling me. If it's going to be this cold, it might as well snow. Well, it is in some spots. Far north Georgia, up in the higher elevations over 2,000 feet, you might get maybe a dusting to upwards of maybe 2 inches of snow, but that's going to be it. Otherwise, for most of Metro Atlanta, if you have a quick passing flurry, that's possible, but for the most part, snow is just not going to be in the forecast for most of us. But if you live in the higher elevations, then you are in luck. You just might get a little bit of a early white Christmas, which, can you believe, is on Sunday. Speaking of Christmas weekend, frigid weather is going to continue. The thing about this is we have that first alert weather day for tomorrow because of just the blast of cold air. Again, maybe some black ice. That's not going to be a widespread issue. And just a really gusty wind. This is going to continue through the weekend. So we will stay below freezing for just about all of Christmas weekend. We might briefly make it above freezing on Sunday for Christmas Day, but with the wind persisting all the way through Sunday, it's going to gust still upwards of 20 miles per hour on Sunday. It's going to feel well below freezing through Christmas weekend. So very, very cold. Before you go to bed tonight, you want to drip your pipes. Very, very important because that cold air is going to rush in while we're asleep. You'll probably hear the wind outside your window because wind gusts again upwards of 40 miles per hour will be possible. So you're going to notice it, but you want to drip those pipes before you go to bed. Today again is the day to kind of get your house ready for this very, very cold air that is going to come in that will very well freeze your pipes. You don't want to deal with burst pipes on Christmas weekend, having no water while your family's in town. But with that said, a backup plan is a good thing to have. Have some sort of emergency kit in your house with flashlights in case your power goes out, something to keep you warm, like firewood maybe, anything that will keep you warm and safe if the cold happens. You also want to have a backup plan if your power does go out somewhere else to stay, maybe a neighbor's house, maybe a hotel. Start thinking of options just in case, because this is going to be too cold to stay in your house safely if your power does go out, because that will be possible. Also, Amy, great point. Bring your pets in. So we say plants, pipes, and pets. Those are the 3 things to think about. As we get this cold, you want to bring your pets inside. This is just miserably, dangerously cold. So your pets too. When you wear a jacket, you know, pets' fur is kind of like a jacket for them. So if it's cold to you, it's going to be cold to them. You want to bring them inside. So here's a look at just some cold safety. Of course, cover your exposed skin, because frostbite with temperatures like this and wind chills like this can occur in 30 minutes. You want to drip your pipes, open your cabinets. That's a good one when you turn your heat on. Any kind of pipes underneath your sinks and stuff, that heat from the heat in your house will kind of help keep those a little bit warmer and cozy. You want to keep flammables about 3 feet away from space heaters. You have to be very careful with space heaters. Y'all know that. We've seen issues with that already this season, lots of house fires, so you don't want to be one of those people, especially on Christmas weekend. Use every precaution this weekend to keep you and your family safe, and so that you can have a good Christmas despite the fact that it is going to be frigid across North Georgia. So here's a look at Atlanta's most accurate first alert forecast. Today, 20% chance of rain, maybe a few light showers as we head into the afternoon and evening ahead of that cold front that will bring rain through the overnight hours. A small chance of rain, but nonetheless, still going to have a chance for some showers. Could experience maybe some turnover to snow in far North Georgia, especially up in the North Georgia mountains. So we could maybe have some light accumulation up there. That could lead to some ice issues on the roads, especially again north of the metro. So we're talking places like Rabun, Fannin, Gilmer County. You might have some patchy ice on the roadways tomorrow morning, especially on those bridges and overpasses. Those do freeze quicker than the physical road because of how high they are. That cold air can kind of surround them and ultimately freeze it faster. So you don't want to be driving on bridges and overpasses tomorrow morning, just out of extra precaution. In the metro, maybe some patchy ice is possible, a flash freeze, a patchy flash freeze in some spots, just because we will have the chance for maybe a few light showers through the morning, and anything that's left on the roads, because of how quickly the temperatures are going to drop, will freeze over. So you just want to stay off the roads tomorrow if you can. Get all of your errands done today. Temperatures tomorrow going to feel well below 0 and in the single digits all day tomorrow. Bundle up. We can't stress enough to have your best winter gear ready to go. Saturday morning, we're waking up at 10 degrees. It hasn't been that cold since 2015, very close to record cold for Christmas Eve. Highs on Saturday in the upper 20s, but again, it's going to feel like the teens just about all day long. As we head into Christmas Day, waking up at 17, it will feel colder than that. It'll feel colder than low 30s on Sunday as well. We finally start to have moderating temperatures back near normal as we head into Wednesday. That sunshine in low 50 is going to feel phenomenal after the cold we are dealing with over the next couple of days. So again, prepare for this cold. For the most part, the wind chills are by and large going to be the greatest impact for all of you. Wind chill values across the state really going to be anywhere from -5 to -20, maybe even colder in the higher elevations of the mountains. So you want to prepare for that. And we are going to stay feeling like the teens into Saturday morning. The wind chill warnings and wind chill advisories that are because of those -5 to -20 degree wind chills, that expires at noon on Saturday. We will eventually feel more like the single digits and teens on Saturday, so we'll get out of the negative numbers. But a stretch from Friday morning into Saturday morning is going to feel near or below 0, a prolonged stretch of dangerous cold. We can't stress enough that you limit your time outside. Try and stay indoors. Make sure your heat is working now. Drip those pipes before you head to bed tonight to avoid them from freezing and bursting. That would not make for a great Christmas. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us, especially on Facebook. We have a whole team of 6 meteorologists here who will be glad to answer any questions you have. We will be live on our streaming and, of course, on air all day long today and tomorrow to keep you and your families informed and safe. Get ready for this cold, everybody, and we will catch you here next time.